Support my Breaking News 24 channel. You can donate $1, $5, $10, or any sum you like to. Click the link in the description and make us a donation. Thank you for the support.
Trump handling of security information at Mar-a-Lago queried by House panel. President Donald Trump's handling of U.S. security information at his Florida resort came under congressional scrutiny on Tuesday as a watchdog panel asked the White House to explain reports that Trump dealt with a sensitive foreign policy issue in view of club guests. Representative Jason Chaffetz, head of the House of Representatives Oversight Committee, sent a letter asking the White House for details on how Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe responded to a North Korean ballistic missile test while visiting the Mar-a-Lago golf resort over the weekend. Photos taken by private guests in the club's public dining area showed Trump and Abe conferring and looking at documents while surrounded by their aides following Pyongyang's missile launch. Reports and social media accounts have suggested White House staff use their own cell phones to provide illumination for reviewing documents, Chaffetz said in a letter to White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Separately, one Mar-a-Lago guest posted to his Facebook page a photograph with a man described to be the holder of the nuclear football, he added. White House spokesman Sean Spicer told reporters on Tuesday that Trump had been briefed on the North Korea situation with his national security team at a sensitive compartmented information facility, or SIF, in Mar-a-Lago before and after the dinner. Spicer said a photo was taken later at the dinner Trump attended, and everyone jumped to nefarious conclusions about what may or may not have been discussed. There is a SIF there. It was utilized on 2 occasions that evening to convey to the president by his national security team the situation in North Korea, Spicer said. While recognizing Spicer had denied any classified material was present in the dining room, Chaffetz said, discussions with foreign leaders regarding international missile tests, and documents used to support those discussions, are presumptively sensitive. Chaffetz asked Priebus to explain to the committee whether security protocols were followed during the discussions, to identify which documents were reviewed at the dinner table in view of the guests and to explain whether any classified material was discussed in the resort's common areas. He also asked for details on how the guests at Mar-a-Lago are vetted to ensure they are not foreign agents and to describe what security protocols. U.S. Defense Chief White House shakeup will not affect Europe debut. U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis on Tuesday played down any impact that White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's resignation might have on Mattis' debut trip this week to Europe to meet NATO allies. Frankly, this has no impact. Obviously, I haven't changed what I'm heading there for. It doesn't change my message at all, Mattis told reporters shortly before landing in Brussels, as he praised the NATO alliance but stressing its need to adapt to the challenges posed by Russia. And who's on the president's staff is who I will work with, he said. Flynn resigned late on Monday after revelations that he had discussed U.S. sanctions on Russia with the Russian ambassador to the United States before Trump took office and had misled Vice President Mike Pence about the conversations. Flynn's resignation occurred hours after it was reported that the Justice Department had warned the White House weeks ago that Flynn could be vulnerable to blackmail for contacts with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak before Trump took power on January 20. Mattis has taken a dimmer view of the prospects of partnership with Moscow than Flynn did during the presidential campaign or Trump has since taking office, while not ruling out areas where U.S. and Russian interests might align. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday, Mattis said the North Atlantic Treaty Organization needed to adapt to the challenges posed by Russia after 2014, when Russia's annexation of Ukraine's Crimea Peninsula upended the alliance's assumptions about cooperation with Moscow. 2014 was a watershed year. It was a year when many of our hopes for some kind of partnership with Russia were shown to be unavailing, Mattis said, extolling NATO as the most successful military alliance in history. We've got to adapt and make certain that the transatlantic bond remains strong, he said. In his January Senate confirmation hearing, Mattis accused Russia of trying to break the NATO alliance. In L1N1F218B, Flynn, in contrast, frequently raised eyebrows among Washington's foreign policy establishment for trying to persuade Trump to warm up U.S. relations with Russia. One U.S. official said Flynn's departure, coupled with Russia's aggression in Ukraine and Syria and Republican congressional opposition to removing sanctions on Russia, removes Trump's most ardent advocate of taking a softer line toward Russian President Vladimir Putin. Flynn's leaving may make a significant course change less likely, at least any time soon, the official said. In L1N1F1L9, another official said Flynn's departure might strengthen the hands of some cabinet secretaries. Trump's trust in Flynn had been eroding, White House spokesman. President Donald Trump asked for the resignation of his national security advisor, Michael Flynn, after his level of trust in Flynn eroded to the point that he felt he needed to make a change, White House spokesman Sean Spicer told reporters on Tuesday. A day after Flynn's resignation, Spicer said Trump had been concerned that Flynn had misled Vice President Mike Pence over his contacts with Russian officials before Trump took office on January 20. Trump had been reviewing Flynn's situation for a few weeks, he said. Amid congressional calls for an investigation into the extent to which Flynn discussed the possibility of lifting U.S. sanctions on Russia with the Russian ambassador to Washington, Spicer said the White House legal counsel had reviewed the situation and believed Flynn's case was viewed not as a legal issue but a trust issue. Spicer said Trump was informed of Flynn's conversations with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak and asked counsel to review the case. The erosion of that trust, frankly, was the issue, Spicer said. He said Trump had not told Flynn to discuss U.S. sanctions on Russia with the Russian. House Democrats escalate effort to obtain Trump tax returns. Congressional Democrats on Tuesday tried but failed to pressure Republicans into seeking President Donald Trump's tax returns, saying the scandal over Michael Flynn made it imperative to find out whether the president has business ties to Russia. A day after the Republican chairman of the House of Representatives Ways and Means Committee dismissed the idea, the panel's Democrats proposed an amendment demanding that the committee ask the Treasury Department for copies of Trump's returns by March 1. Unless this amendment is adopted, we will never see the president's tax returns while he's in office, Representative Sandra Levin, a Michigan Democrat, told committee chairman Kevin Brady at a public hearing. Before you stonewall this, I urge you to think twice, Levin added. You'll only keep the issue alive. Brady strongly rejected the request as an abuse of the committee's authority. Minutes later, committee rejected the amendment along party lines in a 23-15 vote. The vote represents only the latest skirmish between Republicans and Democrats in Congress over whether lawmakers should review Trump's tax returns, which critics say would help determine whether the president's sprawling business empire poses any conflicts of interest. House Democratic aides say the political battle will continue. The resignation of National Security Advisor Michael Flynn on Monday intensified Democratic interest in the documents, with one lawmaker warning about the potential danger of blackmail. Representative Bill Pascrell, a New Jersey Democrat, issued the first request for Trump's returns in a February 1 letter that Brady rejected on Monday. Experts say federal law authorizes the House Ways and Means Committee, the Senate Finance Committee and the Joint Committee on Taxation to examine individual tax returns. The two other panels are headed by Senator Orrin Hatch, a Utah Republican who dismissed the idea of seeking Trump's returns last week. House Republicans contend that the authority to examine tax returns was meant to ensure the proper administration of the tax code. Democrats contend that Trump's business empire involves state-owned enterprises in China and the United Arab Emirates, as well as other interests in Russia.
If you like to receive more news on our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. If you like to receive an alert every time a new upload is made, hit the bell. Give us a like to the video or dislike if you agree or not to the news. Be proactive. Is your life and the news will serve your day. Finally, leave us your opinion in the comment section on what you think about the subject. Thank you and stay tuned to Breaking News 24.